Hello guys, my name is IMREC117 and today I'm looking at the Captain America 4 is Doomed by Nerdrotic. This is a pretty controversial movie with certain things about it, and Nerdrotic's just hilarious and he just speaks the truth, and you know, let's just check it out.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. The Captain America trilogy from the MCU is unquestionably its best, and a good argument could be made that it's the best superhero trilogy of all time, featuring the criminally underrated First Avenger directed by Joe Johnston,
100%.
followed by the Russo brothers' Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which is widely considered one of the MCU's best films, and Captain America Civil War, which isn't far behind. It's the best because it's the most consistent, and I can hear you now, Nolan fans. No, Dark Knight Rises is not a good movie.
Agreed.
Problems with Endgame, including Steve Rogers f***ing off to the past and sitting out every major American event for the last 50 years, including but not limited to the assassination of the Kennedys, the Vietnam War, the Iran hostage crisis, 9/11, a move that is antithetical to everything Steve Rogers as a hero was all about. The trilogy holds up and it reminds you of better days. Okay, to be fair, considering who Steve Rogers fought for, there is a justifiable argument to be made. Anyway, after all that, despite the last two Captain America films completely centered around Bucky, leading to what we thought would be a redemption arc mirroring what happened in the comics, didn't. Instead, Steve Rogers handed his shield to Sam Wilson, leading to one of the dumbest decisions, of which there are many, Disney Marvel could come up with: a Captain America sequel without Captain America. Oh, but it doesn't end there, because Captain America 4 is in truth a sequel to a D+ show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's such a bad
show. Who did watch it, which is a much smaller percentage comparatively than the people who watched the movies, aren't going to remember it. So let me remind you, what could have been an introspective show on Bucky's recovery mixed with a fun buddy cop adventure turned into a lecture on race relations in America and the evils of capitalism. With brilliant Sam Wilson being unable to get a loan for his fishing boat and a dancing Baron Zemo, featuring the villains, the mass murdering Flag Smashers, or as they're better described as Antifa, whose sole purpose is to keep all the stuff they stole during the blip. And don't even get me started on how much Disney Marvel screwed that one up. They are led by Freckle Jesus, who's so deified that after
she would not be the leader.
Sharon Carter, because Sam Wilson couldn't do it, because you don't want to perpetuate violence against women, she's carried off like some murdered messiah, which leads to, quite frankly, the only memorable thing about this show: a meme.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Oh, and John Walker did nothing wrong.
Anyway, 100%, stand by that.
Captain America 4 was announced, and it was all downhill from there. Initially titled Captain America New World Order, this was quickly abandoned because that was a term used by conspiracy theorists, or as I like to call them, people who correctly predicted events. It was retitled Captain America Brave New World and shot in 2023 and then reshot in 2024. Almost entirely, and not because of test screenings, it didn't even make it past the internal screenings at Disney Marvel. So why is Captain African American in the news again? Well, according to rumor, there was some poor test screenings leading to more reshoots. Now let's keep in mind that 99% of the scoopers' scoops are full of poop. I mean, these are the same people who reported this banger via Daniel RPK. An untitled Marvel Studio film will reportedly start filming in the UK in fall of 2025. Thank you for telling us that Marvel might shoot a movie sometime in the near future. Now, they could have had some poor test screenings leading to more reshoots, or they might be just going through the normal editing process. I have no idea, but it doesn't change the fact that Captain America 4 is doomed, and it was from the start. Why? Well, to state the obvious, which is something admittedly we do a lot here on YouTube, a Captain America sequel without Captain America is
not a great plan.
I mean, how did that Black Panther sequel do without Black Panther? But it made a lot of money at the box office. And it did. It made $859 million worldwide, which was about $15 million less than Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, Jesus.
$500 million.
That'd be considered a flop if that was Warner Brothers in charge.
That actually had Black Panther in it. And it doesn't help that the movie sucked so much
that
we haven't heard a word about it since. But it did come out at a time, arguably, when Disney Marvel still had some shine to it. But unfortunately for them, times change. Because Captain Black Falcon America Brave New World needs to do Wakanda
Black
Forever
Falcon
numbers
America,
just to
fuck
break
it up.
even due to its reported $400 million budget. Another reason
Jesus.
Captain America 4 was doomed from the start was the entire concept of Sam Wilson being Captain America. But Sam was Captain America in the comics. My point exactly. Sam Wilson became Captain America in the mid-2010s, being a part of the ill-fated all-new, all-different Marvel. An era that gave us race swaps, gender swaps,
Yeah.
characters randomly turning gay.
Yeah.
It gave us Ironheart,
Yeah.
Captain Falcon America,
Yeah.
Nazi Cap,
Yeah.
Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, or as better described, Carl Manvers. That led to Marvel editor Axel Alonso getting fired. Meanwhile, over at DC, they were doing their best to destroy their characters, and the industry has yet to recover.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And instead of learning from that real-time market research that involved actual comic fans, Disney Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, decided to bypass decades of brilliant storytelling that sold in the millions to adapt books that sold in the thousands and were eventually canceled, including a lot that featured Sam Wilson's Captain America.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know, despite there being a lot
go
of
on.
highly paid decision makers over at Disney Marvel at best, willfully ignoring the growing fan outcry, or at worst, gaslighting the fans, their forced and unforced heirs all blew up in their face with the Marvels.
Yep.
And after that undeniable flop, it turns out a lot of them don't work there
Yes.
anymore.
Yep.
And history repeats itself, and the only question left is, can Disney Marvel dig themselves out of a hole that Disney Marvel Comics couldn't? And yes, Disney Marvel is still in a hole despite the
I'm
success
so happy
of
they did the
Deadpool and
Pandaverse.
Wolverine, unless all the Captain America 4 reshoots include inserting Deadpool and calling it Deadpool Brave New World. I digress. The other problem with Captain African American is the entire concept of the film. Aside from the fact that his costume just looks goofy, it looks like it was designed by a 6-year-old, and what the hell happens if his shield ricochets and clips off one of his wings? And let's not forget, Sam
that's
Wilson's
a good point.
Falcon doesn't have any superpowers. Now, I was told by somebody at Marvel one of the biggest problems they had with the film was Sam Wilson fighting the Red Hulk. Listen,
Yeah.
unpopular opinion, the Red Hulk is stupid. Once we found out it
Oh,
was
no,
Sorry,
I
spoilers,
don't-
Ross, I was done. It was dumb in the comics, and it's dumb in the movies.
Oh, I don't know
And
about that.
inside
I liked it.
Marvel, was told
I
one of the
liked Red
problems
Hulk.
They had was the Red Hulk punching Sam Wilson in the shield. The shield will be fine, but he would be jelly.
Yeah.
I guess it didn't get cut because here it is on the poster. Then there's
Yeah.
the whole problem with Sabra, the Israeli superhero who's also Mossad, due to a conflict overseas and a conflict within
Ooh,
Hollywood.
bad
they're
timing.
forced to retcon her a little bit by almost completely changing her, which to be fair has been the only consistent thing with Disney Marvel since Endgame. Now, I was also told by my friend at Marvel that while the reshoots did improve the film slightly, it's still going to be the most expensive polished turd ever made, which at this point I'm sure comes as a surprise to absolutely no one. But this is what happens when you play the game of identity politics. And considering recent events, that era is not just gone,
Oh,
it's
mate.
long gone. And
Is-
while some
yeah.
at Disney Marvel recognized this, many did not, and they're gonna think that the world changed overnight when in truth you were just forced to accept reality. Particularly in the last 15 or 20 years, when a character's mantle is passed down or their race or gender swapped, it's a combination
Yeah.
of three things: avoiding rights issues, virtue signaling, and laziness. With Sam Wilson being past the shield, it's the latter two. I got a question. Why give the second black costume superhero in Marvel Comics history, the Falcon, hand-me-downs? How is that progress?
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer the Falcon rocking a couple of Uzis. I could see him leading the Avengers. I have no problem with Anthony Mackie. I think he's been really good, and quite frankly, he was the most charming and charismatic thing on the stage during that whole presentation at Comic-Con. And let's
Yeah.
not forget that Captain America 4 is being released during February of 2025, Black History Month. So they can
Oh
repeat
my
the
God,
success
is
of
it?
the Black Panther marketing, because Disney Marvel has no shame. Let me ask you this: what's a better story, having Sam Wilson as Captain America in some weird Wakandan hybrid Iron Man suit fighting random Hulk villains, or loosely adapting Brubaker's work and having Bucky as Cap fight the Red Skull. Well,
That would
it
be
looks
better.
like one
I'd
of those
watch
stories
that.
is going to lose a lot
watch
of
that.
money, and one of them might have made some. Now, I don't think Captain America Brave New World is going to be as big a flop as, say, the Marvels, because quite frankly, it has better actors. And as always, I could be wrong. Maybe it makes $1 billion, and I hope it does, because it's going to need to. But based on everything we've heard and seen so far, it's not looking good. Now, concepts like passing down the mantle have worked many times in the comics, even with legacy characters like Sam Wilson, mostly because we knew Steve Rogers was coming back. But changing a major legacy character solely based on identity never works. So as Hollywood is forced to change, maybe they'll listen to the wise words of my good friend Clifton Duncan. While this was meant for multiple industries, I want you to listen closely to this one, Disney Marvel. If artists stop focusing on what makes the classics problematic and started focusing on what makes the classics classic, there'd be way less slop to watch, read, and listen to today. If Captain America Brave New World does indeed underperform or even flop at the box office like I suspect it will,
It probably
it will
will.
be for this one reason. It doesn't have Captain America. If you want to get some engagement on X, I mean, aside from typing Miles Morales is Miles Morales, try this. Steve Rogers is Captain America, an objective truth. I don't make the rules, I just make the observations.
Nerderotic.com.
It is something that really does annoy me, you know. Like, yeah, Steve Rogers is Captain America. I stand by that. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Like, and all that. I agree with all that. And Falcon, you could have done a movie about Falcon. Him as Falcon, you know, doing some really cool spy shit. You 100% could have. And unfortunately, they kind of betrayed him as a sidekick character, which is how they saw it, and I never saw it that way. And I just think, like, even, like, with Bucky, right? Like, the whole redemption arc of him being Captain America after being the Winter Soldier and all that, to me, it makes sense. That would have been the better direction. And I think even, like, that we know that Red Skull is alive. Yeah, you can make it that he fucking finds his way back to Earth. Next minute he starts building up Hydra again or whatever. And there's so much cool shit you could have done. And they went with, let's have fucking Captain America, man, fight fucking Red Hulk. And it just doesn't work. Especially when he doesn't have any superpowers. Listen, if it was like, I don't know, it was him and he had Iron Fist and Luke Cage with him or something, which would be fucking awesome, by the way. And then they were fighting Red Hulk. Okay, I could see that working. You know, Iron Fist's got, you know, obviously a really strong fist and bang, you know, with magic powers and stuff. And then, fucking Luke Cage has got super strength. Like, I could see that working. But here, it's just, how's he going to fight Red Hulk? Like, that is honestly the thing. And even if, like, supposedly his suit is made out of vibranium and all this other stuff, I'm sorry, like, Black Panther even had to have powers to use the suit. You know what I mean? So he could take those hits and stuff. Because otherwise he would just be dead. Like, it's not like Iron Man's suit, which is, like, clearly made to be a suit of armor and to protect you and all that. Where here, it's just not. And, yeah, I do wish they made Falcon still. That is, like, the one thing I do wish they did. And as he said there, he was the second, like, black superhero in the Marvel Universe. Obviously, Black Panther being number one, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, and they just decide, nah, we're gonna go do this, which I think is a bit racist. And then US Agent, about him saying US Agent wasn't a mistake. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. He killed a terrorist. What's wrong with killing terrorists? I mean, if you're a terrorist killing people, I mean, he's doing his job. And on top of that, Captain America killed a lot of fucking people. Yeah, then, oh god, yeah, that is, Miss Marvel's never going to work. Oh, that's pregnant Spider-Woman. Yeah, very dumb. Very dumb. And then, yeah, the Jewish superhero. Jesus, that couldn't come at a worse timing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.